Hey, what's up guys? In this video we are going to be going over the UI, the user interface of Ableton Live 10. And this is basically what you're going to be looking at while you're making your track. And I'm going to be going over it broadly. I'm not going to be going over like every single option because that will overwhelm and confuse and you'd be like, what's a metronome? So I'm going to be going over it broadly. I'll be going over things more in detail in later videos. I find that to be a better way to go about these sort of things because it gets confusing for new people. So this is Ableton Live, and I need to explain the concept of Ableton Live. It was the original concept of Ableton Live, and well, it still is it was a way to jam and build ideas of a track non-linearly, right? As opposed to putting it on a timeline and moving things around. They enveloped, or they discovered a new way to go about it using clips. Clips are these little ideas, and you can mix and match them, and you don't need to put those in an arrangement. You can jam and things like that. So Ableton is basically two programs, if I can count, two programs in one, and they are displayed in the main window. So I have this awesome ability to draw on screen now, which is pretty cool. So this is the session and arrangement view. So session, you use little clips and you build your track using clips. You don't have to understand what that is. Just be aware that there's two ways of working in Ableton. So first, keyboard binding or hotkey is tab. You press tab and you can go into the arrangement view. This is more of a traditional left to right, like you're editing film or video. You're editing video, or you're building a track left to right, and you can select things here, and you work in a linear way. As opposed to that, you can also go up here and click on this to go back, tab, and this is the session view. So you put these two icons together, you have the Ableton logo, which is pretty cool. So this is the main concept of Ableton Live. You have this view and this view. You can use just one view, you can use just the other view, or you can use both. Starting out, we'll probably just use the arrangement view because that's easy to grasp and wrap your head around. But then we'll go into this view. This is more of a getting an idea down and things like that. Both of these views are worth learning. So I'll just leave this here. Second place. That's very important that I should mention is this guy right here. This little box. This little box is immensely useful because it is your help view, right? You can mouse over anything and it will tell you what things are. Track pan, track volume. What's this button do? Oh, that's a play button. Neat. It also tells you the shortcut play button. You can hit with space and it'll play. Cool. So that's a useful thing to have open. You should probably have that open at all times. If you don't see it, you can hit Shift ? And it will appear again, or you can hit this little thing underneath my name. But yeah, just hit Shift ? Or go View Info or Help View. So there's that, which is very important. This up here, or this over here, I should say. This is your browser. You will be dragging things from here to your project, and you'll be building your track by dragging things from this box to the session or arrangement. You can also drag things from another folder, a video file on your hard drive, all sorts of things. It's pretty robust, but this has, you know, things all kind of organized. Your Ableton sounds in, you know, organized by what the sound is. Drums, which we'll get into. They incorporate a live device called Drum Rack, which is very useful. Your Ableton instruments, audio effects, etc., etc. And you can also add folders and add your own folders that might have like sound, MIDI file, video, recordings from like old VHS tape, like anything, right? Any audio, it will play anything really. And yeah, this is the browser. Let's go over here. Over here, actually. So this is a view that is pretty interesting. This is where you drag your devices from your browser, right? And this is the device chain. And you drag things. I'll just show you how that's done. So you can just go, oh yeah, I'll just drag, we'll just drag that here, right? And we can just drag stuff into this view here. This incorporates two separate things, and Ableton Real Estate is an interesting concept because it was meant for live use, so everything needed to fit on one screen, like on a Mac for live performance. So this acts as the device view or the clip view, and you can click these to get into that. Once we start dropping in clips, you'll kind of grasp this view down here, and you can change these by holding Shift Tab. But I just click on here, things like that. Super useful. I want to point out that you can basically resize anything in your interface. It's pretty customizable. You can, resize your channels, things like that. We can actually get rid of that if we want. But I'll just leave that up for now. That's the help view. You can do all sorts of things by, resizing. So you can just work on things and just whatever you're diving into, you can refine and focus on it and things like that. So it's not like a rigid, UI. You can change it around if you'd like. Okay, so another part is the stuff at the top. This old thing. So this is what I'm going to call the stuff at the top. This has your transport control, your tap tempo, your nudge, your metronome, your time signature, things like that. Play, stop, record, a bunch of other stuff, loop regions, draw modes, which you'll just hit B, but we'll get into that for automation. Computer, MIDI keyboards. You can use your home row as a keyboard. Key bindings, MIDI bindings, or MIDI map, I should say. CPU usage and disk overload, things like that, MIDI in and out. This is just all the things that you want to look at. It's like you're a fighter pilot and this is your dashboard and you're looking at that. And basically, that is the overall broad UI in Ableton Live. Don't get uncomfortable because it'll all become more and more clear as we move on. Hopefully the dragging the devices into here didn't confuse, but I'll walk you through it nice and slow. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care and have a good one.